Hey, this is what. Hey! Stop! What's going on back there? Hey! Stop!
Sorry, we are dealing with a malfunction. It appears that there is a Gungan stuck in the gears.
Okay, too much information, but please get it fixed. Get him out of there. I got a show to do.
Roger.
Hey, this is Bert. This is Bert. And anyways, this is every single droid featured in a Phantom Menace.
No skill customs.
All right, let's talk about the Trade Federation droids. First, we have the protocol droid TC-14. He was available in the Episode 1 collection. They also re-released him later on as a Legends figure. Or perhaps you might like, if you want a little bit more articulation and a better quality sculpt, you might like the Legacy Collection U-3PO figure. I like that figure a lot, but as far as TC-14 goes, TC-14 should be super shiny. So I think he's got to be vac metalized. So that's why I go with the original Episode 1 collection version.
There's another droid that looks exactly like TC-14 that's visible in the Galactic Senate scenes with Swokes.
Then we have a couple of little cute droids walking through the ship. They can also be seen later on after the battle on Naboo, picking up some broken battle droids. They are called the PK-4 droid. No figure for them. However, they have the same body as the research droids, which were available in the Saga collection. So maybe you could consider starting with one of those as a custom. I've never tried it. I couldn't come up with a good head that would match the PK-4. Then let's take a look at the Vulture droids. Now, this is something where in the process of making this video, I actually discovered a toy I didn't even know existed. Okay, but let's talk about the one I did know about. I think most of us at some point or another owned the Trade Federation Droid Fighter 3-pack. Okay, and that was by Hasbro. And little small for the action figures technically, but it worked pretty well. It was kind of cool to get a whole squad of vehicles. And the center one could be stood up like you see inside the Trade Federation ship. But the vehicle I didn't know about was Action Fleet actually made one by Galoob. I actually prefer that one. The Hasbro one, the battle damage is a little bit better, the wear and tear on it. I like that. It's technically a little bit more accurate if you look at the insides of the wings. But the colors on the Action Fleet one and the sturdiness of it are really cool. I think part of it just the eye section, if you want to call it that, being red, makes it look more like what you think about in the movie. Plus, the idea that it's tanner and browner, not so green, I think also makes it look more like what you picture in the film. Just a kind of really interesting toy. It almost feels like a Transformer when you handle it. Not so much like an Action Fleet toy. Now, mine's a little scuffed and it's a little loose. I don't know if they're all loose or if it's just, mine has seen some play wear here. Actually, as soon as I heard about it, I went and bought one, is what happened. In each case, they really call it the Trade Federation Droid Fighter, but later on in the later films and in the Clone Wars cartoon, they ended up calling this the Vulture droid. Next, we have the Destroyer droid, or the Droideka. Now, if you want just a standard Destroyer droid, one of the best ones is the 30th Anniversary Collection version. It's pretty much the same as the Discover the Force version, and another one that was in a Legacy Collection Geonosis 2-pack later on. And that one's real nice. It's got the better head shape than the original Episode 1. Then also, if you want one that's partially blown up by boomer damage, I actually couldn't find a moment when there was a boomer damaged Destroyer droid, but it's still a pretty cool figure. And that was available in the Episode 1 collection. But you might also want one rolled up, because that's kind of, their cool features that they roll up. So the rolled up version of Destroyer droid has been done twice. Once for the R2-D2 carrying case playset, which itself is pretty cool, makes for a pretty neat backdrop for toys. Also, to me, it really complements the vintage C-3PO carrying case. They go nicely together. Then also, you could get the rolled up Destroyer droid with the Clone Wars Destroyer droid battle launcher. Now let's talk about the battle droids. First of all, we're going to go after that red battle droid. Well, actually, it's just a beige battle droid with red markings, and that's the security battle droid. And he was available in the Power of the Jedi line. And I don't think he's been remade since. Still cool figure. One nice feature that I'm going to talk a lot about is the fact that he can hold his gun with two hands. It's really important to me. Then if you're looking at the yellow battle droid, the commander sort of droid, that's 9 from, OOM9? I don't know. I've always called him 9, even though it sounds kind of dumb. He was available in the Episode 1 collection. There was also a 30th anniversary Battle Droid 2-pack that had a droid in it, had the yellow markings like 9 or whatever you want to call him. One cool thing is that he's got the lettering on the back, but then he's got a backpack when the commander yellow battle droids don't have backpacks. Then there's the blue droid. And these droids are seen throughout the Trade Federation ship, often as pilots. They were available a couple different ways. My favorite personally is the Stap Rider, STAP Rider from the Clone Wars cartoon. That's my personal favorite. Then you have just the standard Stap Rider, if you want a regular battle droid on the Stap, and that was available in the Power of the Force Episode 1 preview vehicle. Right, now let's talk about your standard everyday battle droid. What's the best one? For me, if you're looking for accuracy to the movie, maybe even foldability, the droid that's going to fold up the most, like, you know how they were all brought out in the MTT, they were on a clothing rack. That's actually the Vintage Collection battle droid. That one's the most accurate, piece by piece, and folds up the best. However, got some issues. It doesn't hold its gun well with two hands. So if you're looking for a battle droid that does that, and you're going to sacrifice a little bit of accuracy,
You could get the battle droid from the original trilogy collection Naboo Final Combat Pack.
or the Saga Collection Arena battle droid. Now that Arena Battle one had a running change where they changed it to actually look how they did in the arena. So first, when it first came out, it was beige, like in Episode 1, even though it was technically supposed to be part of Attack of the Clones. And so as the line went on, they corrected that and made it the reddish brown for Attack of the Clones. But each of those holds the gun with two hands, which is pretty handy, I suppose. You might also want perhaps a chopped up battle droid. Okay, because really what were they there in Episode 1 for but to get chopped up and beat up and knocked over? So you can get a chopped battle droid in the Theed Hangar playset. And once again, in Attack of the Clones, they made some chopped up battle droids that were beige in the Deluxe Attack of the Clones pack. That, again, had a running change where they changed it to the proper reddish-brown color. You might say you want to have a battle droid that's getting electrocuted by a boomer. There was a boomer damage electrocuted battle droid from the Power of the Jedi line. And that's a pretty fun one, too. Very specific to a couple shots in the movie.
But if you want affordable, army-buildable battle droids,
I suggest the Episode 1 battle droid. There's so many of this figure out in existence. I don't know. Every time I find one, it's $1 or $2, and I just buy them up like crazy. Okay? They're not as accurate. They're a little too thick. They don't hold the gun with two hands. But if you just want a whole mass of battle droids in the background of a scene, they work great. They came in a couple different varieties. I love the way the dirty one looks, but I don't actually use it that often because it doesn't match very many of your other battle droids. So I want it to look good with the rest of them. So there's a clean version, there's a scratched version, there's a shot version. I use an assortment of those three versions. Now, I don't know if this really counts as a Trade Federation droid, but Darth Maul was kind of working for them, right? So another droid that might fit with this category is the Sith Probe Droid. And the Sith Probe Droid was actually just an accessory in the Sith accessory set. That's the best way to get that figure. Also designed to shoot out of a missile launcher that you probably don't care about.
All right, now let's talk about the droids from Naboo. Now, first of all, you're going to want to get the Royal Starship Droids Battle Pack. That gives you 4 droids right off the bat. You get a nice, clean, pristine R2-D2 in there. But if you want another R2-D2 for later on, after he gets back into the ship and he's got, carbon scoring all over him, the Vintage Collection number 149 figure would be suitable for that. You also get R2-B1, and I think this is the best version of R2-B1. However, if you look at some of the shots in the movie, it's understandable that the 30th Anniversary Collection went with a gray dome rather than a silver one. I personally think it's silver, and it's just not as shiny as it could have been. Then there's R2-R9. R2-R9 is one that's been made a couple times. I feel like this is the best version of him as well. You also get in that set R2-N3, this white and green droid here. Now, I like the R2-N3 droid, but as I watch the movie, I swear to you, the droid that's in the starship is actually black and white rather than green and white. But if you look at some of the behind-the-scenes shots, you can see R2-N3, so it's really tough to say. Is this just one of those situations where the lighting makes a green droid look black, or did they swap them out at the last minute? Either way, you might want R2-N3 because droids that look just like him are all sorts of rolling around in the hangar on Naboo. R2-N3 also has an alternate name. There's a couple different toys out there from Episode 1, not 3 3/4 inch scale, but larger. They call this droid R2-A6. Basically, there's a lot of droids that look alike on Naboo. Another such droid is R2-C4. He's a yellow and white droid. He was available in the Saga Collection Astromech Droid Series 1 pack. The red eye on that guy bugs me, so I use the head of R2-B1 and the body of G8R3, who I'm just getting to right now. G8R3, also sometimes called R5-A7, wasn't available in that Droids Battle Pack, but he came on his own in the Discover the Force series, and he's a great figure to get as well. A lot of these astromechs, like I said, are seen on the Royal Starship, but then again, very similar ones are seen throughout the hangar bay. And it's tough to say, in the hangar bay, some of these droids, you can only see their heads poking out of Naboo fighters. So it's hard to say what their bodies really look like. The last droid you're going to want to get is R2-M5. This red and white droid was available in the Entertainment Earth Astromech Series 2 pack. But I also sometimes use R2-A3, who came with the Legacy Collection Wedge Antilles X-Wing fighter. The only other droid that I've noticed on Naboo is the Hangar Scrubber droid. This droid was available in the Tatooine accessories set, which seems kind of odd until you realize that two of these droids, kind of similar, they're almost identical, but with a couple little different pieces. Two of them are visible in Watto's junk shop, and that brings us to Tatooine. And there's a lot of droids on Tatooine that they haven't gotten around to yet. But let's start with the astromech, since we're on an astromech kick here. My personal favorite Tatooine astromech is this guy right here, R5X2. This is Jabba the Hutt's droid that can be seen at the pod race. This droid is available in the Droid Factory Force Awakens set, but he does have the name R5X3 there, so it's technically not the exact same R5 unit, just mostly decorated the same. In Mos Espa on Tatooine, there's a protocol droid, silvery but with blast marks and stuff all over. Not an exact figure of him. Maybe you want to use TC-14 or the U-3PO again for him. Then in Watto's shop, there's this even more beat-up protocol droid and this unknown droid. There's also 4 power droids in Watto's junk shop. They're all almost identical, and they've never really made one that exact shape. I could see maybe using the power droid from the Target droid set, because it's kind of the tannish beige color. Or I could see using EG-01 or 01 from the Galaxy's Edge set. But they've never really made that exact thing, except in, I've seen a nice 6-inch scale one that was made in the Disney Elite series, a die-cast droid. Then we have some other droids there. There's this guy. He's called an RMS droid. There's a stretch droid. There's a couple of welding droids. There's an R1 unit, maybe for that R1 unit, since you don't have any of the rest of these droids. Maybe for the R1 unit, though, but you could use R1G4. They're not exactly the same. Then there's an R2 unit in an oil bath. And this R2 unit is seen twice, or maybe it's 2 different ones. It's hard to tell. If you look at behind-the-scenes pictures, it seems like it's the same droid, but the second time we see him, he's got a weird kind of like collar around the, I guess you'd call it the neck piece. Speaking of R2 units, there's this other one, R2T0, and this is in a Legacy Collection 2-pack as Watto's droid. And he's got some welding mechanism on him. Then there's another droid, R2G2, who might actually just be the same droid, but modified. And then there's one other droid also using this kind of welding mechanism, and that's seen in the hangar, and I couldn't find a name for that particular droid. I saw in some behind-the-scenes stuff that they only actually made one R2 unit that could have this welding piece mounted to it. So I imagine in those 3 instances, they're all the same droid, just painted slightly differently and maybe with some different modifications on their head, different little details or greeblies here and there. Then we have some Otoga 222 droids. And this droid was available as an accessory with 3 of the very best pod racers. Anakin the Mechanic in the Power of the Jedi line came with one. Ben Quadaneros in the Vintage Collection line came with one. And Odie Mandrell in the Episode 1 collection also came with an Otoga droid. Not all of them exactly how they look in the movie, but pretty darn close. Then we have an assortment of pit droids. There's a lot of different pit droids in the movie, and there's a lot of different pit droids as toys. You can get one in the Vintage Collection with the Rats Tyrell figure. You can get one in the Episode 1 collection with Gasgano. You can get 2 of them with the Mos Espa Arena Discover the Force Battle Pack. You can get another 2-pack, very rare one that came out in the Episode 1 collection, and then a very similar 2-pack in the Saga Legends. And the Saga Legends itself had multiple different colors. Solid red, ones with gray details, ones with red-orange details. So lots of different ways to get the pit droids.
Which is great because there's lots of different pit droids in the movies. But I do feel like dark brown pit droids and blue-gray pit droids haven't been represented as toys yet, though. If you want to add a little more variety to your pit droid collection, you could also consider this toy by applause. It doesn't move at all, but it looks pretty neat and fits pretty well with the 3 3/4 inch scale figures. Another option, since one of the big moments the pit droid has is when it's all folded up, there's a folded up version that came with the Power of the Jedi Jar Jar Binks with "Don't Do That Again" tongue sticking out action.
Also on Tatooine, of course, there is the pod race cam. Very hard to see, but it's there flying around during the pod race. Real quick, while I'm mentioning flying cameras, we should talk about the Senate cam droid that was featured in the Senate scenes. That came with Senator Palpatine as a little accessory. Now back on the streets of Mos Espa, there is something called a Rolo droid. And then finally, the last droid in Phantom Menace that I haven't brought up yet is C-3PO. And C-3PO, the best version of him, a lot of people know about the Episode 1 one, but I would say the best version of that C-3PO is when he was repainted and included in the Mos Espa Arena Battle Pack. So if you're getting that Battle Pack for the pet droids, you're going to get a pretty nice C-3PO as well. Then there are 3 droids that are seen in a lot of the Episode 1 media, but aren't found in the movie, at least as far as I could tell. There is Chancellor Palpatine's protocol droid, TC4, but they actually did make a figure of him, and that was in the Celebrate the Saga Sith multi-pack, Sith Battle Pack, that just came out probably in 2020. Then there's also this guy who has the head, which is salvaged from a Tamerka droid, whatever that means, and I could not locate him, probably maybe in the background somewhere in Mos Espa, but I could not find him either. Finally, we have the P-100 salvage droid, famously featured in a deleted scene from Episode 1. This came with the Saga Collection Team Toes Pagalies figure. And that wraps up all the droids in Phantom Menace. I hope you enjoyed it, and like and subscribe so you can find out when my next video is. And it's going to be a special one. I think you'll like it. See you then.